Hello, my dear, and welcome to this timeless message, meant to find you when it does. Let's see what we need to talk about right now. And we have a big spread. Oh, yay. Exciting. A whole story. Ooh, I see a lot of aces. Wow. A lot of aces, a lot of twos, fours. It looks like things are multiplying. Let's see what it could be that might be doing that. You have the Ace of Swords here. The ace always speaks on new beginnings. And that's the idea within the tarot. The one speaks on new beginnings, on starting anew. And here you have some sort of a new idea that might be coming to mind. You might have some sort of insights coming at you right now, where you're like, oh, what if I do this? And it just feels right. You know, these inputs that seem to come out of nowhere might just be more prevalent right now. Especially because you might be coming out of a space or a time where you were in a bit of a I'm thinking sleep mode, like sleeper mode. I don't know, but like this idea of like you taking a break, having to take a break, and now coming out of it. Because this is the Four of Swords. It does speak on the mind because we're still in the swords, but the four, it's reaching a point. It's like the eye of the storm, you know. And now it's like you're coming out of this eye of the storm, where you took a break, so now you're coming out to do what? I think to expand of some sort. There's something coming along because you have the Two of Wands here, and for some of you there might be travel coming in. I'm very excited for that, if that's the case for you. Whatever it is, this expansion, this like you trying to get how do I put this? It's like you're trying to learn. You're trying to learn more, trying to engage with more things that you maybe normally don't engage with. And I had a lovely conversation with a friend yesterday, talking about like trying to take time every day to do something that is for no other gain than for personal exploration and personal like growing, like specifically speaking on taking on certain hobbies, you know, or like spending every day saying, today I spend an hour learning this thing, you know. And then when you look ahead and you look at yourself a year from now, you can see how much you have learned and grown by doing that every single day. But anyway, my dear, expansion, because the twos here is still not fully there. It's still not fully there, but it's almost like I think you're jumping, like, look at this. You're going from the 2 to the 4. This is what I was saying, like multiplying and like things just becoming more. Out of 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4. You know, exponentially it almost feels like. And here, the 3 being the actual expansion, you waiting on the ships. Here you're making plans to like, I need to get this and do this and da-da-da-da-da-da. This is my next steps for my travels, for example, for these next plans of mine that I have. And then the 3 is you waiting on them coming in. And then you get everything that you need, so now you can do the thing that you wanted to do. So what does that call for but a celebration? Like, for example, if your plan is to get a new place, maybe it's time for a little inauguration party, you know? This kind of energy, like reaching a threshold. And here, you see, there's a lot of mirroring happening here in the reading. We had the Four of Swords, right? So the fours speak on some sort of stabilizing energy. Here it's the stabilizing within conflict or within a lot of stuff taking you away. Imagine the air element. It's really like you're in the storm and it's like you lose a lot of sight. So being in the eye of the storm gives you a break, but it doesn't negate that it's still happening, right? And you're gonna have to face it again if you want to get out of it. Here, you've reached the stabilizing energy of the Wands, so the fire element. What does that mean? It means that your passions might be more aligned now. You might be finding that you are maybe experiencing more joy. I'm getting that very specifically. No matter the circumstances specifically as well. Yeah, it's like you are having fun no matter what's going on right now. Jumping over things and jumping over hurdles to get to the King of Swords. You see, there's a full circle moment. There is a full circle moment potentially in regards to your headspace and plans you had, ways of thinking that you thought, I would never do that, you know? I would never get to that place or get to that conclusion. And now you are here and you've realized, no, I have, and I've understood the journey now. I understand why I didn't see it in the first place. You know those stories and experiences when you look back at something and it's almost like you're seeing something anew, even though it's the exact same thing, but because of your understanding of the story itself, it can change the context of how you perceive it now as you watch it again, right? Maybe you want to watch Dark. I will forever tell everyone that I know that is interested in perception time, philosophy, watch Dark. But anyway, okay, full circle moment of the mind, of the thinking patterns. What could also be happening is, this is specific to timing wise as well, but if you're watching this as it comes out, we're currently in Mercury retrograde, which means, and by the way, there's a thing on the internet where people say Mercury in the microwave, and I think that's so funny. So Mercury is in a microwave right now. But I think it's gonna come out in like 2 weeks or something like that, I think. What does that mean? It means that in astrology, when something is retrograde, it means that from the place that we are on, like on this planet, we get a visual effect where it looks like these planets or points in the sky are moving backwards, when they can't, they're not, but it's a visual, that's it, visual illusion, that's the word. It's a visual illusion, and we call those visual illusion phases retrograde, right? Retro, going back. Within astrology, where there is assigned meaning specifically to these astronomical phenomenons, it is said that it internalizes the communication. So it can also rupture communication. So all things technology, but specifically the mind might be feeling scattered, and the mind is very much also in connection to our socializing and to speaking and doing all this stuff with peoples. And actually, I was gonna read you still these two cards that have come out in the beginning, that did come out, but I'm feeling called to grab you one of these. Maybe we need to hear something from here just now. Okay. Stop underestimating your magic. There are treasures within you waiting to be discovered, to be shared. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. And I love these cards. What does it say? Memento and more. Memento, that is, oh my God. I was thinking of that movie. Have you seen Memento? I would recommend, especially if we're still on the same idea of like perceiving things backwards. Perceiving things backwards. Maybe there is something in your life where you feel like you know where you are going to reach, where you are going to get to, but you still have to go through it to get to that place. So it's kind of like you're perceiving things backwards. It's like you've already lived it, even though you have not. Does that make sense? Do you see what I'm saying? Watch Memento. Maybe that would help. Watch Dark. That will help too. But my dear, you also have these two cards that came out, which another new beginning, and this is particularly speaking on energy, the fire element. This is the spark that lights the flame. It's the things that push you. In Dark, there is a lot of quotes from a lot of philosophers that are used as well. There's one quote, and I'm not sure from whom it is, like where it's from, but it's the human being can do what he wants, right? But he cannot will what he wants. And I hope you understand if you want to hear that again, but it's this idea that like you can do whatever you want. The free will that you have is in your choice in that which you do in this life. But it's almost like that which calls you, the spark, that which actually makes you make the decision in the first place. You cannot change. You cannot, you have no input in. And then is the question, is there free will at the core of the onion? I don't know, my dudes. You tell me, how do you feel about it? I think it's a very interesting topic. Either way, I'm seeing here a new beginning. Yeah. The cards are right on top of each other. I lay very, like, I read cards in a very intuitive way. Like, I believe you wouldn't even need cards to do this kind of work. Cards are a tool, you know? And in my free and non-structured, necessarily well-structured way. I just put stuff down sometimes, however it feels, and these cards just landed on top of one another. So you have a double of new beginnings. So a new beginning of passion, of excitement, of this spark. Maybe there is a new spark, maybe there is someone coming in. And why do I say this? Because, my dear, you have the Two of Cups here, but you have it in reverse. And I want to find out why it is in reverse, because it feels like it might be in reverse because of what we were talking about with all of this perceiving things and reversals, right? Perceiving things in reverse. So maybe there's someone coming in that you perceive in the first instance is maybe not a good fit, or there is not it doesn't instantly click, and then eventually it does, because it's like a matter of perception, and maybe you're just looking at it from an optical illusion point of view right now. Who knows? But I want to find out. Do you want to find out? Yes, we're gonna use these cards. Okay. Why is the Two of Cups here? First, why is the Two of Cups here? Okay. And why is it in reverse specifically? Why is it in reverse? Thank you so much. Alrighty. You have... So why you are getting the Two of Cups? You have the exemplar of the arrows. And this is someone who has gone through life. You see, they've already reached a point of... They've already aged in life. They've already gone through things. They have learned. They have gotten those little crow's feet, you know, that come through getting to express yourself, right? Getting to move your face. What a blessing to be able to smile, to cry, to do all of this, right? And this blessing leaves its mark on our face and on our bodies, and it's what makes us sometimes believe in this concept of time, and how it passes, and how things are seemingly limited, or, you know, they end at a certain point in time, which I would argue they obviously do, right? The body decays, but matter, ultimately, energy, what happens when energy is completely gone? There's a beautiful short story on this question, on this like philosophical question. I will put it in the comments because it's about a 20-minute read. So if you're into short stories and sci-fi and philosophy, which I feel like this is all we've been talking about today, you might want to check that one out. But my dear, I'm going off because what was I getting to? The arrows represent the wands, so the fire element again. The passion, the spark, the thing that you cannot control, but that guides you in your decisions, in your actions. Where does the fire come out? Where do you feel a spark? This person has gone through life with that, holding that very dear to them, you know, using that spark to guide them to a point of expertise, to a point of aging, to a point of being, you know, in a position to teach the younger generations and to teach children. I could see this could be a mom, this could be a grandma, doesn't have to be, it could be just a loving member of the community. You know, it takes a village to raise children. But do you see here, she's written this stuff down and she's teaching the kids, she's sharing what she's learned. What a beautiful place to be at. So, okay. I'm going off, but it's fine. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, let me know, my dears. I love to hear that, get feedback from you in any way, shape, or form. I appreciate it very much. Anyway, my dear, what I'm getting, because we had the Two of Cups, right? So it's almost like maybe you've reached this level of fulfillment, completion, maturing. I think is the probably best kind of word to pinpoint what I'm getting to, where you are able to share it now. Able to share it, and maybe that is why this is popping up now. Maybe that is why it's popping up. And specifically, why is it in reverse? Because the star, the grandfathers, and I wish I had brought the book with me, because this has a guidebook that is super amazing with like little prayers and just more insight on the cards, because these are a bit more of their own thing. They are tarot cards, but I'd say they kind of stand for themselves. But the star, within the understanding of the tarot, it's your authenticity. It's the light that you shine, right? The fire element within you, that which comes out of you. So on a smaller scale, on an interpersonal scale, making a difference, teaching, potentially being a teacher, right? Here, you do this even in a bigger place. Now there's not just one person that is listening to you, but there's multiple people. Maybe some of you work in schools. Maybe some of you are actually teachers of some sort. The card here came out though a bit in reverse, and I don't really read these particular cards in reverse. So I think it's a matter of still not fully, maybe you're lacking the belief that it's happening right now. And by doing that, you're kind of pushing it a bit. I don't know. I really don't want to put any pressure on the situation. I feel like it's a matter of you not putting pressure on it and just letting things be, and letting things happen as they have to. But with here, you do see someone being in the center of attention of some way. There's something with a person being the center of attention, right? Getting a lot of attention. Maybe this is something that is calling you or necessary or happening around you and you're not fully wanting to embrace it. Again, very murky energy with this particular request of getting an answer to a bit more about the situation. I just don't think you're meant to know too much about whatever's coming up for you, because the Hierophant here, reminder of trust. The Hierophant is your teacher. It's your spiritual teacher. So wow, okay, so maybe it's a matter of trusting your teacher while you are also becoming the teacher. I think I had a professor in university who told us something that really stuck with me, which was never stop discovering more music, specifically because I did music. So like I remember like just keeping that in mind, like never stop listening to new stuff. Like it's fun to listen to stuff that you know, but try to grow, try to embrace more, try to always be the student, never stop learning. And I really felt, you know, for me, what makes the difference in regards to a good teacher in a lot of ways is the willingness for them to learn as well. Like when you have a teacher who is so adamant in being the person of authority or of knowledge, that they cannot accept that they might be able to learn from someone else. To me that is not a good way of teaching. I think it's always everything we do is an interchange between, an exchange between peoples and between things. So, but yeah, my dear, we're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that and finish your reading with one last of our beautiful little messages here. I hope everyone is doing well. And before I get into it, I want to say I added a new item to my shop. You can now book for a single question or a 3-card spread. So this is going to be a short video answering your questions, but the idea is to make it more accessible for anyone. We are in difficult times right now. So if you're interested, you can find that in the description. And if you have a singular question that you feel like I would like an answer to, I don't want a full reading, but there's just one thing, my dudes, I would appreciate it. And I just hope I can help with whatever I put out into this world. That is the baseline to my existence. All right, your last message. Your energy is exclusive and expansive. Remember, it's a privilege to be in your presence. Yeah, it's a privilege to be in your presence. Don't forget that, my dear. Embrace that, feel that for yourself. And if you truly believe that, of course, there can only be more love, more care coming into your life. Because that's exactly what you deserve, and you know that. All right, my dear, take care. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye.